Alright, what's up, YouTube? So, all day today I tried to do videos, record videos, driving and everything. I kept getting interrupted with phone calls and everything. Not that I'm complaining, because it was people that I normally talk to during the day. But, I've been sitting here for a little bit thinking of a video to make before I go to bed. And it just clicked on my head. So, this is what this video is going to be about. My career. It's been 2 years already. And just over 2 years. I have been to six companies in the last 2 years. Now, the companies I've been to, other than this makes six. The companies I've been to, I can say one, other than this one, that I actually enjoyed. The others were all for basically experience. The first one, I realized it wasn't for me. So I left it. Second one, I did solo for a bit, and then I went team. Now, the people I worked with were good people. And I did get my experience with them, and some experience with them. I realized that I was able to do teaming, and it was something that I could do. So I continued to do it. I left the second one because I felt like I got screwed over. I had a teammate quit on me to go home. He wanted to be local, so he could be closer to his son, which I understand. I ended up getting a second teammate, and everything was good, but he wasn't considerate for me, for the teammate. Whenever I team, what I mean considerate is whenever it's time for the next person to change over, most likely they're going to need the restroom when they wake up. They're going to want something to eat or something to drink. They may even want a shower because they didn't get to take one the night before. So I would always find a spot to park or a truck stop, usually within an hour, hour and a half of the switch over, because that's about how long. If you need to do things, it takes, usually takes about an hour to, you take your shower, get something to eat, getting your fuel, whatever. No, this guy, I'd wake up and we would be parked off on a side street. We'd be parked on the ramp. He would pass the truck stop up to get 10 miles more down the road to park on the side of the road. Just wasn't considerate. So whenever he quit on me because he wanted to go back to his old teammate, because his teammate wanted to come back, his original teammate wanted to come back, I basically said I was done with teaming. I wasn't gonna, someone I did not know, I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna get another teammate that I didn't know. And the solo miles were not enough for me. Not for what I had been trying to do for the last 2 years. So I quit and I went to work with family. That ended up being a mistake. I was in a truck for 3 weeks. It broke down, and there was not another truck available to go solo, but a friend offered me to go team with him, so I took it. If it wouldn't have been for him, then I'd have been out of a job for a lot longer, because there was nothing else going on. I didn't have the experience at the time, and so I stayed with that friend for close to 8 months, and then I left them to go to another company to go team with my dad, and that was actually pretty fun. I got to spend time with my dad, be around my dad, a lot more than I had ever had in my entire life. I was actually, excited to team with him. And yeah, we bumped heads a few times because, you're in a tight space, you're around somebody every day. So yeah, we bumped heads a little bit, but if we did, we went to bed, we got up the next day, like it was nothing. I left that. Sorry, y'all, I was getting tired. So it was getting hard on my dad to team, because the truck was, even though it was brand new, it still rode rough on rough roads. Like it would throw you around in the sleeper on the rough roads, bounce a lot and everything. So it was getting harder on him to be a teammate. And the only reason I was able to go to them is because my dad had 41 years, I want to say. 41 years experience. I had about a year and a half at that point. So they took me because I was bringing my dad with me. So I had to team with him for 6 months, and then I could have went solo with him. At that time, I was still trying to do the league stop, and the guy, the owner, he wasn't ready to do another lease truck. The market really wasn't all that great. He was concerned that, the truck wouldn't make enough money, and then if the truck didn't make money, I wouldn't make money. So I left that because I couldn't go solo with them, and it was getting hard on my dad, and the only way for my dad to go solo was me quitting. So I quit for my dad to be able to have better night sleeps, better night rest sleeps. I'm tired. For my dad to get better rest at night, I told him I was going to quit. He didn't want me to, but he didn't, because I guess he thought if I left, they would let him go too. So no. So I explained to them that I was going to leave because I had some things to think about. I had a lot of other things actually going on at the same time. But my main reason was my dad couldn't sleep. And if he couldn't sleep and he had to drive, it would put us both in jeopardy. You know, you can't be tired driving. You got somebody responsible. You know, you're responsible for somebody in the sleeper. So I left and went to a different company. That's my previous company. And the beginning was horrible, I'll tell you that much. I wasn't making hardly any money. Barely making $1,200, $1,300 per week. Some, that's a lot of money. And it is, but I have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of bills, and I could not pay my bills on $1,100 to $1,300 a week. And on top of that, it was money that I could barely afford to eat. Finally, about a month and a half in, miles started coming in a little bit more. I went from 15 to 1,800 miles in a week to 22 to 23. Finally, it was like 27, and I started hitting 28, 2,900, and then probably about a week to 2 weeks out of the month, I'd get a 3,000 mile run. I'd get 1 or 2 3,000 mile runs, and the rest would be 26, 27, 2,800. So it was almost never the same. It was just hard for them to find loads. They're like, this place is not good, we'll stop sending me to this place. And I kept going there. And I finally had to tell them, look, nothing above here. Like, no more up here, no more over here. The market's down here, keep me here. You want to run me, keep me here. So finally he started doing it. But by then it was almost too late. I was already frustrated. Bills were stacking up. Then one day, I was down in Laredo and got a load that came across, and it was supposed to go to Alabama. Well, the load got canceled, and we got pushed back to like next week or whatever. So he found me something else going up to Missouri. So I left, picked up the load in Laredo, drove up to, I think, Dallas, just before Dallas, stopped there for the night. Then I got up and I looked at my GPS to see where, which way I was going. And when I realized where I was going, I knew where I was going to stop. So I drove up and I got to the place where I wanted to stop. I had been there. I had been knowing about this place for 10 months. And I finally got a place to check it out. So I went in, parked that night. I want to say about 6. Went inside, walked around, and got something to eat. And I went and asked if the owner was there, and they're like, no, he's on vacation. So I asked if he was hiring. Got the application, got the phone number, filled the application out, turned it in, and next morning I got up. I went to bed. Next morning got up, and then I drove to my delivery. Got to my delivery, and I sent the guy a message. Since we went back, I call him. Well, he calls me, and we talked for like 45 minutes on the phone, and asked me when I can come down. So I told my company, and this is where the story gets a little crazy, because I do believe in God. I do believe in everything happens for a reason. So I told him I had to get home. I had something to take care of. It was important. I had to get home. So leaving Missouri, they got me a load to go down to Houston. When I got down to Houston, they're like, "Hey, we got a load for you to go to Louisiana. We'll take your load." It's like, no, I can't take another load because that means I have to go deliver it. And what I've got to do, I won't have time to go deliver the load and then come back. I was like, I got to go home now. So I drove from the house, from Houston to my house. Went parked. Went home, spent the day with the family, and next morning got up and take my drug test. And I was going to leave out that Friday after the drug test, but my dad convinced me to stay home, take the weekend, and so I did. Stayed home for the weekend. But I had to end up staying home longer than the weekend. Now, I haven't told anyone, over this yet. But that Saturday, that next day, I lost my mom. Today is just 1 week that I found out. Well, I've been thinking about it today, and it got a little hard today. But now where I am right now, if I wouldn't have taken that load, if I would have had to take that load to Alabama, I probably wouldn't be here right now, where I'm at, driving this truck. Probably would have missed my mom's funeral. So this part of the story is me saying, like, dreams come true, but sometimes some things have to happen for that, and sometimes bad things happen at the same time, and it can change. It changed me for the better, because I wasn't always nice to my mom, because some things happen, and I blamed her for some things, but I still cared about her, I still loved her, and it hurts that I didn't get to tell her I was sorry. So that's my story. I've been through a whole lot of ups and downs. I've been through so many situations, and now my dream has come true. It took a lot of patience. It took a lot of time for this to happen, and I tried everything I could to make it happen. And people just kept telling me, just have patience. It'll happen. It needs to happen. It'll happen in its own time. And I can say that, yeah, me having patience is not my strong suit, but the last 3 weeks, that's all I was doing. I was starting to have more patience. I had contacted a company about doing an application. Well, I filled out an application. I contacted the company, let them know, like, we'll get back with you. I just waited. I waited and I waited and I waited. They never called. Never called. And I found this company. And I got hired basically the same week. Same week my mom passed. But I got hired the same week. Because I was patient. So the whole point of this story is y'all gonna be out there, y'all gonna be with companies. Y'all gonna get with a company that might not be your favorite. And you might not like certain places that you go, or it may not pay enough, but put your 2 years in and your options open up. Try not to company hop. That's my advice. Try not to company hop. But I can give y'all a couple of companies that you could probably go to and be all okay, for the first year or two, whatever. Yes, they're somewhere I would have went if I needed experience. And if you can, and you get still in school, and you're seeing this, try to learn to drive a manual, because that opens your options a lot more. This is a 18 speed. It's no different than a 13. What I'll do tomorrow is I'll make a video on shifting. There's plenty of videos out there, but for the people that are watching my channel, I'll make a video tomorrow of me shifting. I won't be able to show the footwork, but I'll show the shifting. And I'll try to explain what I'm doing with my feet. So I'm gonna go ahead and end that video right here, and I will see y'all in the morning. I don't know what time I'll upload it, but I will see y'all in the morning sometime. So, hope y'all like this. If you do, you know what to do. If you don't, you know what to do. Catch you in the next one.